It seems now we are exiting this deep, dark, depressing era in the crypto market and now entering this golden age, one where we will again begin to accelerate, where adoption will resume, where we'll start talking about some of those insane highs like we have been waiting for. But I understand, I'm not saying this is going to happen today in this daily candle or anything like that. But the problem for the bears and the negative people in the market is the news just continues to get better and better and better as time goes on. And what's interesting is that this news that we got this morning kind of caught the market flat-footed. And this was actually better than expected. And we're going to talk about that, but we also need to discuss this now 75% odds of this taking place for ADA. And we do need to discuss something potentially happening between the US and China. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So first of all, jobs report was our big focus today. Jobs report, jobs report, jobs report. We obviously talked about that heavily. And the good news is that we came in way better than expected. What we expected was a cooling jobs market, very little jobs added, unemployment on the rise, but no. This was the exact opposite. Unemployment unchanged. 177,000 jobs added versus 133,000 expected. So this was, for all intents and purposes, a strong jobs report, and it didn't necessarily echo the sentiment of some of the other data we've been seeing. The expectations were because of tariffs, we were going to see layoffs and we were going to see hiring slowing down and all these different things, but that's just not what we're seeing. And now we have questions, right? Because we had declining quarter of GDP for Q1. We had inflation actually dropping both on the PPI and the CPI side for the month of March, all right? So now it's a question of, was that in fact an outlier? Are we actually seeing a resilient economy? All right, that's the questions. I don't have the answer to it. We're going to find that out over these next few months, but this was actually just a little shot of confidence into the crypto market. And you saw that reflected in price. We saw ADA run up to the mid 71 cent range, kind of come back down. We saw BTC run up almost to 98K, kind of come back down. And I think the market is right now trying to digest what this does in fact mean. It's good, right? And it's a question of, does it remain consistent? Is this a point of resilience? Are we going to continue to see things showing strength moving forward? All right. Now, that being said, what we are still seeing is retail, I'm trying to think of the word, retail hesitance. That'd be the best way to describe it. What we are seeing is a lot of institutional buying. They continue to just add to their bags. It's the reason why BTC is kind of outpacing most assets right now, and most other assets are just kind of, we'll call it chilling. It's because retail hasn't quite jumped in yet. And that's okay, because when retail does jump in, they may in fact be chasing. And that could be where we start seeing some of these more significant breakouts like we talked about, liquidations along the way, pretty insane surges in price, frankly. All right. And again, I'm not saying this is going to happen right now, but this tends to be the way that these things play out, if it's going to play out that way. Now, some other good news. We have also seen the odds for an ADA spot ETF rise now to 75%. This is coming from Bloomberg. And what is helping accelerate this is obviously the SEC overhaul that's taken place. The new SEC chair is officially sworn in. And this new embrace surrounding crypto is really going to start becoming a focal point of the discussions in the coming months. We're probably going to start to see introductions of crypto regulation, stablecoin regulation, stuff like that coming down the pipeline as well. And in fact, I wasn't going to talk about that in this video, but we also need to talk about the potential acquisition of Circle by Ripple, because we know that right now Cardano is in discussions with Ripple to actually implement RLUSD into the Cardano blockchain. Well, what if we are actually able to implement not just RLUSD, but USDC by extension because of this acquisition of Circle by Ripple? Hopefully I didn't make that too fast, right? If Ripple acquires Circle, we may see USDC on the Cardano blockchain a lot sooner than people realize for no cost. All right. I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but just the wheels need to start turning here. We are starting to see a lot of things actually align perfectly for the Cardano ecosystem. And obviously, this is something that can hugely benefit ADA. All right. Now, the last thing I want to discuss is there are actually reports of China actually considering sending their security chief to the U.S. to negotiate with the Trump administration. And that is a very big deal, because this is probably the most headway we've seen so far in regards to negotiations between the U.S. and China. It's been a big sticking point. We obviously know this is the case. And if we are starting to see all these trade deals start to emerge, we're starting to see, I don't want to say countries getting along around the world, but actually working together, it's going to clear up a lot of, again, this uncertainty and crap that we've been dealing with for the past several months. The exact reason that caused the crypto market to move down may in fact end up being the white swan events that help move the crypto market to the upside. Hopefully people are starting to piece this together, but this has definitely been an interesting day. We'll see how things progress as time goes on, but this is the stuff where I'm very excited for what comes next. So appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.